I am Rajiv Saxena, Associate Professor, Smriti College of Pharmaceutical Education in Mumbai. In today's video lecture, we'll discuss about electron microscopy. Electron microscopy is considered to be the most advanced technology that is used for the magnification of any object. Now, if we compare the light microscopy with the electron microscopy, then definitely the magnification or the amplification power of the electron microscopy is much higher as compared to that of the light microscopy. In case of light microscopy, we can amplify or magnify an object to the maximum of 2000 times. Whereas if we are talking about the electron microscopy, then any object can be amplified for 4 lakh times. And with the help of the electron microscopy, an object which is having the size range of around 0.001 micron also can easily be visible and can easily be magnified. So definitely, if you are talking about the microscopy, the generations of microscopy, then definitely the electron microscopy is a milestone one, and it is playing a very important role in all the major sciences. Now, the electron microscopy is basically having two versions. Number one is a transmission electron microscopy. In short, it is called as TEM. Whereas the next version is actually called as scanning electron microscopy, which is in short is called as SEM. Now, first we discuss about the transmission microscopy, and then we'll discuss about the scanning electron microscopy. But there exists a difference between both these methods. Now, as a student of microbiology, as a student of pharmacy, now what we can assume here, like if you are talking about the transmission microscopy, then definitely suppose if you want to study some internal structure of any cell, suppose if I am interested in study of different cells, different organisms, then suppose I have to study the internal organization of the cell, then definitely for that I have to go for the transmission electron microscopy. Similarly, if I am interested in studying the superficial or the outermost structure of any object or any cell, or maybe if you are talking about some pharmaceutical applications like various nanoparticles, then for that we can easily go for the use of the scanning electron microscopy. So for the study of the internal organization, we can go for the use of the transmission electron microscopy, and definitely for the study of the superficial structure, the outermost structure of any object, then definitely we can go for the scanning electron microscopy. Now, coming to the first method, that is actually called as the first microscopy, which is called as transmission electron microscopy. Now, as you can see in this Venn diagram, this is the basic arrangement of transmission electron microscopy. The microscope that is available, that is used for the transmission electron microscopy, is not a very small instrument. It is not like a light microscope that we generally use in our laboratory. It is a huge apparatus, it is a huge unit that can be assembled or that requires a specialized room for its installation. Okay, so the next point is, this is the basic layout of the transmission electron microscopy. The transmission electron microscopy is operated under the vacuum condition. So the first most requirement of the transmission electron microscopy in the unit, if I am talking about the instrument, then definitely the first thing that is most required is that the operation is actually done with the help of the vacuum. Because here, if we compare it with the light microscopy, the source that is used for the illumination, that is used for the visualization of the object is light. Whereas if you are talking about the electron microscopy, whether it is a transmission microscopy or whether it is a scanning electron microscopy, in both the cases, the source that is used for the visualization, for the magnification of any object is not the light, it is actually the electrons. So, suppose if you are using an electron, we need to travel that electron in a machine or in an apparatus or in the microscope. Then while traveling of an electron, the presence of air may hinder its path. So, the entire apparatus, the entire unit is first created with the help of the vacuum. So the vacuum is first created, and inside the vacuum only we can go for the application of the electron as a source. So first we have to go for the creation of the vacuum in the machine of transmission electron microscopy. Now the next part of the machine is actually the electron gun portion, that consists of the source of electron. So definitely it is a electron microscopy, so we need the electron as a source. So that electron is actually generated with the help of various metals, and these metals are actually heated. So that's why the electrons which are generated because of the heating of an element like tungsten, that's why these electrons are actually called as thermionic electron. So in case of the TAM and even in case of the SEM, we generally go for the use of thermionic electrons. So these thermionic electrons are generated, and once these electrons will be generated, then we need to accelerate those electrons, because we want that these electrons should enter into the main piece of an instrument with certain speed. So because of that, so for the acceleration of these electron, we have to go for the arrangement of electrostatic accelerator that accelerates the electron. So here we have to put the accelerator also, and for the acceleration around 80 to 200 kilovolts of the current is actually applied. So there are two units. Number one, the unit that will generate the thermionic electrons, and the unit that accelerate this generated thermionic electrons. So once this electron will be generated, these electrons are allowed to enter into the main portion of the transmission electron microscope. Now there are different arrangements of the lens are available. Definitely here we are not using the glass lenses, but rather here the lenses are actually the electromagnetic lenses that helps in the magnification or the amplification of any object. Okay, so the arrangement of the lenses are as follows. Number one is a condenser lens. Then we have the unit where we can go for the placing of our sample that has to be amplified or that has to be magnified. Then there is an availability of the objective lens. Then there is a projector lens, and at last we are having the viewing photography plate, or it is having a fluorescent screen. So once these thermionic electrons will be generated and they are accelerated with the help of the electron accelerator, they are dragged with the help of the condenser lens towards the specimen. Now again we have to discuss something about the specimen also. Now as you can see in this diagram, the specimen is actually placed in some specialized disc, which is actually called as a disc holder. Now this disc holder is having something mesh-like structure. It is having different meshes in the disc, and the diameter of this disc holder is around 3 mm. And this disc is also coated with certain carbon films. So this is basically a special arrangement for placing the sample that has to be amplified by using the transmission electron microscopy. But again, here we can discuss that if we want to see any object, if we want to study any internal structure of anything, then definitely the sample that we are putting for the magnification should be extremely thin. It should not be very thick, or it should not have a very broader structure, because in that case the transmission of electrons will not be there. So definitely what we have to do, we have to go for the preparation of the sample before putting the sample into the specimen place. Okay. So for example, if we are having certain tissues, if we are having certain mass of cell, so there is one general protocol that these tissues are actually imbibed with certain waxes, and these waxes initially they are available in the liquid form. So these waxes actually penetrate inside the tissues or the cell, and then they are solidified. Now with the help of the diamond cutter, we can go for the slicing of the tissue or the given sample in order to generate a very thin sample that can be placed in the specimen side. So before putting any sample into the specimen, the important thing is first we have to go for the preparation of the sample. Preparation means we have to cut the sample, we have to slice the sample into such a thin section that it can be easily visualized under your pen. So this is actually about the specimen. Now the next lens is actually the objective lens. So whatever the electrons that will come out of the specimen, here we should understand that it is a transmission microscopy. Okay, so here we are basically interested, we are actually collecting the electrons which are transmitted from our specimen. For example, if I am having certain structure, so there are whatever the gaps are available which are that in which through which we can easily go for the transmission of the electron. So these transmitted electrons will be captured inside the viewing screen. So here we are interested in the electrons that will be transmitted from the object. So here first we are generating the electrons with the help of the condenser lens. We are condensing the electrons, we are focusing the electron towards the specimen. And once they will crosses the specimen, so whatever the electrons that will cross the specimen, they will be projected with the help of the objective lens towards the photographic or the fluorescent plate that actually forms the image of an object. So again, we must understand the basic layout of the transmission electron microscopy. First of all, it consists of the source of electron. These electrons are generally the thermionic electrons. Then it is having the arrangement for the acceleration of the electrons. Then it is having the arrangement in which they condenses the electrons towards the specimen. Then again I have told that is for the preparation of the specimen should be very thin, and there is a specialized region, there is a specialized specimen holder is available, and inside that holder we have to put this disc holder. Okay, now this disc holder is having something mesh like structure, and the diameter of this holder is around 3 millimeters. Then whatever the sample that we have put in the specimen holder, the electrons from the condenser lens will passes from that holder, will directed towards the objective lens, and that objective lens magnifies, definitely the image will be magnified with the help of the objective lens. Then it is focused with the help of the projector lens towards the photographic plate that actually forms the magnified image of any object. So this is all about the transmission electron microscopy. Now the next electron microscopy rather, is a scanning electron microscopy. Now as I have told earlier, if we have to go for the analysis of any external structure, maybe it is some cell, maybe it is some nanoparticles, some novel preparation, pharmaceutical preparations are there. If we want to go for the analysis of its geometry, if we want to analysis of the outer arrangement, if we have to analyze, like if we are talking about certain cell, then what are the different protein domains, what are the different structure that is available outside the cell. If we have to go for that type of study, then definitely we can go for the use of scanning electron microscopy. The arrangement of scanning electron microscopy is almost similar as that of the transmission electron microscopy. You can again find here the electron gun that again consists of the thermionic electron generator that consists of the metal that is heated, and because of the application of the heat, the electrons are generated. And again we have to go for the acceleration of these electrons. Now the generated electrons, again with the help of the condenser lens, it will be projected towards the objective lens, and from the objective lens it is projected towards the specimen. So this arrangement is actually different as compared to that of the transmission electron microscopy, because in case of transmission electron microscopy, the specimen is actually available between the condenser lens and the objective lens. Whereas if you are talking about the scanning electron microscopy, then electrons are generated by the electron gun, then it is with the help of the condenser lens. These electrons are focused towards the objective lens, and from the objective lens they are dragged towards the specimen. Okay, so this is the basic arrangement. You can see here the basic arrangement of the scanning electron microscopy. Now the electrons which are generated with the help of the electron gun or the thermionic electrons, these electrons are actually called as the primary electrons. Here whatever the in the ray diagram in a black ink, you are seeing that these are actually the electrons which are here in case of scanning electron microscopy, we call them as a primary electrons. So these primary electrons, from its generator, it will enter into the condenser lens, they will enter into the objective lens, and from the objective lens they will be bombarding, or they will be attacking the specimen. And once these primary electrons will be focused on the specimen, then as a result of that, some electrons will be emitted by the specimen, and these electrons are actually called as the secondary electrons. So the electrons that we are focusing towards the specimen is actually called as the primary electrons, and the electrons that are coming out, that are reflecting from the specimen, is actually called as the secondary electron. So if we want to see any object, then object will be formed, or that will be constituted with the help of these secondary electron. As you can see in this diagram, one detector is available, and that detector will actually capture these secondary electrons, and with the help of this detector, the electrons which are captured by the detector will actually form they will be connected with the video screen, and that will form a image of an object. So whatever the electrons that are reflected from the object will be collected by the detector. Electron collectors are available, and once these electrons will be collected, then they actually forms the image in case of the scanning electron microscopy. So in case of transmission electron microscopy, the electrons which are transmitted is actually responsible for the formation of the image, whereas if you are talking about the scanning electron microscopy, the secondary electrons which are reflected from the object is actually responsible for the formation of the image. Thank you.